This program provides education, not advice. Sponsors pay a fee for endorsements and interviews. See the truthayf.com disclosure page for details.
This is where technology, innovation, and personal finance come together.
This is the truth about your future with Rick Edelman.
It's Thursday, January 18th. If you want to be at the top of American wealth, you want to be an accredited investor. These are people who are designated by the SEC as sophisticated, experienced investors. And by virtue of this, you're allowed to buy investments that ordinary people are not allowed to buy. To be designated as an accredited investor, you have to be an investment professional in good standing who holds a securities license. That's the Series 7, 65, or 82. Or you have to be a director or an executive officer or a general partner of a company that sells securities. Or you have to be a member of a family office, meaning your family is super rich and you have an investment team that works only for your family. The office is only for yours. Or you have to be a knowledgeable employee of a private investment fund. And I'll bet you don't qualify under any of that, but check this out. You also qualify as an accredited investor if you have a net worth of more than $1 million, excluding your primary residence, or if you're single and in each of the past 2 years, your income was over $200,000, or $300,000 if you're married or you have a partner and you think your income will be that high again this year. So a lot of people qualify as accredited investors. $1 million net worth? That's not a lot these days. Annual income of $200,000, that's in the reach of a surprisingly large number of people. $300,000 for marrieds, even more so. So yeah, a lot of people are accredited investors. And like I said, if you're accredited, you are considered to be an experienced and sophisticated investor. The premise being, you needed to be in order to help you build all that wealth. Now, accredited investors don't just limit themselves to stocks and bonds and ETFs and mutual funds. They often invest in private, unregistered securities that are offered to them by their financial advisors. We're talking private equity, venture capital, and hedge funds mostly. Is there a problem here? Yeah, but the problem is not what you're thinking. You're probably thinking that these accredited investors aren't really sophisticated and experienced. Well, a lot of them are. And you're probably thinking these high-risk investments are scams, or they're real but they fail to produce a good return. Well, that's not true either. A lot of these investments have performed very well. That's why brokerage firms and RIAs offer them to their clients, and it's why their clients buy them. But you can't buy them unless you're an accredited investor, because these investments have details and risks and limitations that the SEC says are not appropriate for ordinary investors. So like I said, there's a problem here. But if you're an accredited investor, it's not your lack of experience. And it's not a problem with the investments themselves. The problem was just revealed in a working paper that was written by two professors at the American College of Financial Services and William Patterson University. The problem, well, I'll tell you what the problem is in 60 seconds.
The Truth About Your Future with Rick Edelman is brought to you by Schwab. You want control of your financial future, and Schwab knows that. That's why when it comes to managing your wealth, Schwab gives you more choices, like full-service wealth management and advice when you need it most. You can also invest on your own and trade on Thinkorswim, the powerful award-winning trading platforms. Plus, you'll get low costs, transparent pricing, and 24/7 live help. Because Schwab understands it's your financial journey, and they believe you should have choices in how you invest. Visit schwab.com to learn more.
How should you think about Bitcoin? Turn to a specialist. For 6 years, Bitwise has been helping investors access crypto. Bitwise manages the world's largest crypto index fund. They also offer 6 crypto ETFs. You get cutting-edge insights, expert Bitcoin research, and a nationwide team to help. Bitwise helps investors and advisors navigate crypto with confidence. Partner with a specialist. Look for ETFs backed by Bitwise. BitwiseInvestments.com. Carefully consider the extreme risks associated with crypto before investing.
The problem with accredited investors is that they tend to be older. And that makes sense, since it takes a long time to amass the wealth necessary to become accredited in the first place. And because you're older, say you're in your 60s or 70s or 80s, you become vulnerable to cognitive decline. In their research, they found strong evidence that only 20% of accredited investors of ages 80 and older score better than unaccredited investors on financial literacy tests. These older investors might have been sophisticated and experienced earlier in their lives, but now that they're suffering cognitive decline, they actually know less and are able less to make sophisticated investment decisions than younger, unaccredited investors. In fact, this paper shows that these older accredited investors knew less about money than people who don't even have a high school diploma. And the worst part is that older accredited investors don't seem to recognize that their financial skills have deteriorated. This is a problem because the private securities they buy, like Reg D offerings, they often have high fees, limited liquidity, significant risks. And yet they're often recommended to these older rich people because they pay high commissions to the brokers who sell them. So let me ask you, are you an accredited investor? If you're a financial advisor, do you have clients who are accredited investors? Of course you do. Can your clients pass a financial literacy quiz? Well, tomorrow I'm going to give you the chance to find out. We're going to do the quiz. So join me tomorrow. Let's see if you can pass the test. The introduction of the new spot Bitcoin ETFs, the most exciting new product innovation in investment management in years and the biggest news for crypto in a decade. You need to learn what all this stuff is and what it all means, and I've created a toolkit to help you get the content and education you need, and included in that is a simple one-page chart that easily and quickly compares all the different ETFs against each other so you can see how they differ. That plus videos, white papers, an infographic, plus the full schedule of our webinars and podcasts, all on these new spot Bitcoin ETFs. The link to all of this content for free is in the show notes today. See you tomorrow.
Cutting-edge investment information delivered in plain English.
This is the truth about your future with Rick Edelman.